In 1883, a 27-year-old man experienced an extraordinary moment. He was overwhelmed by a storm of detailed visions that appeared before his eyes. This man, who would change the world forever, was Nikola Tesla. In his autobiography, Tesla described this experience saying, "I felt a positive sensation that my brain was on fire. I saw a light as if a small sun was located in it." These visions, which came in random bursts, often provided solutions to significant problems, transforming modern technology. Throughout his life, the inventor spoke of how these strange bursts of inspiration came to him when he was emotionally charged. Tesla was not the only one. Geniuses like Mozart, Shakespeare, and Einstein also had moments of inspiration that they materialized into their creations. Why am I sharing this story with you? Because the power that Tesla and other geniuses had over their minds is a power that we can all develop. This ability allowed them to generate brilliant ideas consistently, transforming the world we live in. Where do these ideas come from, and how can we access them? In our brain, there is a small gland the size of a grain of rice closely related to these visions and states of enlightenment, the pineal gland. Tesla had these visions and ideas because his pineal gland was very active. This gland is related to the sixth chakra, known in Hindu tradition as the third eye, which allows us to see beyond the physical world. Once activated, your entire reality changes. The pineal gland acts as an antenna that allows us to channel visions or ideas directly from the source or the all. In today's video, we will delve into the nature of the ideas that have transformed the lives of great geniuses and, through their creations, have influenced the course of humanity. We will explore, through the ancient knowledge of the Kabbalah, the essence of the ideas that arise in our minds, their origin and purpose, and how to differentiate between a genuine idea and a mere thought. We will also learn how, through our pineal gland, we can foster the emergence of these ideas or connect with the source to create our reality. At the end of this video, I will teach you a very powerful exercise to activate your pineal gland and connect with divine energy, helping you to solve problems and manifest your desires. Let's start with a big question. Where do these genuine ideas or visions come from? According to the ancient knowledge of the Kabbalah, human beings are incapable of generating an idea by themselves. We are talking about ideas, not thoughts. The human mind can think and conceptualize an idea, but not generate it. Nobody says, "I thought of an idea." People say, "An idea came to me," or "An idea finally came." So, where do ideas come from? According to the Kabbalah, there are only two sources. The first is atzilluth, which is divine emanation, and the second is the body. Between the moment the body asks for something and we act, there is a process. While walking to the fridge, you think about what to eat, what you bought, what you feel like. The combination of everyone's needs generates what is known as the collective unconscious. Atzilluth is a metaphysical plane whose word atzi means emanation and represents an idea in itself. Atzilluth symbolizes the conception of a perfect world, a creation in a state of absolute perfection. Our task is to manifest that idea and give it shape, extracting fragments from that plane and the divine energy to materialize them in this world. So, how do you reach Atzilluth? It all starts with an idea. If that idea is real and can physically manifest in this world, it will automatically trigger a creative process in the human mind. Have you ever woken up or fallen asleep and suddenly been illuminated with a great idea? That is a sign that the idea comes from atzilluth, or the source. It sparks an automatic and inevitable creative process. we begin to think about how to link that idea with the physical world, how to shape it, how to materialize it. How do we distinguish an idea that comes from atzilluth, or the source? It is when an immediate creative process is ignited and then a materialization process. The idea must be new and not previously existing to be considered a creation. By extracting a fragment of atzilluth, you get exclusivity over that idea for a limited time until you test and materialize it. If you succeed, the idea is yours. If not, the idea is reabsorbed, and eventually another mind will receive it to materialize it. Have you ever had an original idea about something, like an invention or a business, and later discovered that someone else already created it? It has happened to me several times. This occurs because that idea is seeking to manifest, and if you, who receive it, do not act on it, it will seek another mind that will. It is God Himself manifesting in the physical plane through His creations. The Spirit of God is present in all His creation, and although we sometimes feel like separate beings, we are an inescapable part of Him, forming part of a whole. We could consider ourselves as vehicles of God or the Spirit. If a vehicle does not work and you need to get somewhere, what will you do? You will look for another vehicle. It's that simple. An example of this is multiple discovery. For instance, calculus was developed almost simultaneously by Newton and Leibniz. The periodic table of elements was independently proposed by Mendeleev and Mayer in 1869. Ideas often arise spontaneously, but they usually come to those who invoke them. Tesla wanted to change the world with electricity, and his desire led him to channel hundreds of ideas. His passion and dedication allowed him to materialize them. Many geniuses and successful people have such a deep passion that they become perfect receivers of the divine energy from the source, or atzilluth. In this world, there are two types of people: creators and competitors. The creator sets the rules for the manifestation of the idea, while the competitor copies. If you have a genuine idea and work to manifest it, you follow the path of the creators. Now that we have reviewed the origin of ideas, let's explore the role of the pineal gland in all this. The pineal gland regulates our sleep-wake cycles by producing melatonin. In the dark, the gland converts serotonin into melatonin, helping us sleep. It also produces DMT in smaller amounts during deep sleep, near-death experiences, or deep meditations. DMT, known as the molecule of God, is a highly psychedelic substance related to vivid dreams and transcendental experiences. It is believed to be responsible for generating images in dreams and also the revelations when the pineal is activated. It is also the active substance present in ayahuasca and found in various plants. By activating the pineal gland, a person can tune into the energy and frequency of the whole, the spirit, the atzilluth. By suppressing the mechanism of the neocortex and reducing brain waves to the theta state, the body sleeps while the mind is awake. Disconnected from the external world but connected to the higher plane, the third eye opens and receives images from the ethereal plane. The pineal gland acts as an antenna, converting that frequency into profound images. These images explore the unknown. When the person returns to everyday consciousness, they perceive a broader spectrum of reality, having connected directly with the source. Now, the mind must decode that information into a language it can handle. Many visions, like those Tesla had, occurred in this heightened state of consciousness. The key to manifesting these ideas is to be a good receiver. When you align your desire with your passion, you are closer to receiving the genuine information you need to create what you desire. For the desire to thrive, it cannot be selfish. It must aim to improve the world in some way, contributing something to others. There must be coherence between the heart and the mind, an alignment between what you want to achieve, the outcome, and what is needed to achieve it, the method. It is the union of masculine and feminine energy that initiates the act of creation. As I explained extensively in my last video, which I'll link here if you haven't seen it. By generating this coherence between the two energies, mental and emotional, which in the physical plane correspond to the heart and the brain, you become a perfect receiver and transmitter. You receive and download ideas from the source through the pineal gland, and, through your heart, begin to resonate with the quantum field, attracting the opportunities the universe places at your disposal. Action arises automatically, allowing you to manifest the life you desire. If you have a coherent heart and can maintain that coherence, the field around your body expands up to 3 meters wide. This has been scientifically proven. This coherent frequency acts like a Wi-Fi signal. When energy flows from the heart to the brain, you can create a coherent brain and suppress the neocortex, the storehouse of memories of your old self. By learning to operate from the limbic brain and tuning the pineal gland to a specific frequency, you allow it to connect with a higher level, your higher self or essence, the divine spirit. It is there where all answers reside, a reservoir of infinite wisdom and knowledge. When you have a coherent heart and brain, you produce a multidimensional signal capable of reading fractals of information that come from the source and slow down into patterns. Your pineal gland takes this information and translates it into profound images, similar to reading a barcode with a laser. By creating more coherence in the brain and heart, you generate a deep laser signal, allowing you to decode that information. But how can we facilitate the activation of the pineal gland? A good starting point is through breathing exercises or pranayamas and meditation, focusing on the third eye. Next, I'll describe one of the methods I usually use that has given me very good results. First, I find a place with low light, as the pineal gland activates in low light conditions. I start with 4 cycles of breathing using the Wim Hof method. There are many videos online detailing this technique, but in summary, it involves taking deep breaths, first filling the abdominal area, followed by the chest, until you feel the clavicles move. Essentially, it is a full breath that starts in the abdomen and reaches the upper part of the lungs, then you let the air out without forcing it. In each cycle, I do 30 of these breaths, and on the last exhalation, I let all the air out and hold my breath for as long as possible. Then, when I can't hold it any longer, I take a deep breath and hold it again for 20 or 30 seconds, this time with the air retained. Then I exhale, breathe normally for a few seconds, and start another round. In total, I do 3 or 4 of these cycles. While holding my breath, I focus my attention on the third eye area. With my eyes closed, I elevate my gaze towards the brow, keeping it there. It's common to feel a slight pressure and start to see a circle of light, sometimes golden and sometimes violet. After finishing the breathing cycles, which generally take no more than 10 minutes, you are in a very favorable state for deep meditation. Your mind and breathing will have relaxed quickly. When your breathing is slow and calm, your brain waves automatically decrease, bringing you closer to the optimal states for your pineal gland to activate. In this state, without moving after the breathing exercises, continue focusing your attention on the third eye area, keeping your gaze there and directing all your attention to that point. You will notice your mind becoming more and more calm and mental noise diminishing. In this state, it is likely that images will appear in your mind. Don't get attached to them or judge them. Just keep your attention on the third eye and stay expectant. When you find yourself in a deep state of relaxation, you can imagine a desire you want to materialize or a problem you want to solve. Recreate it vividly in your mind. In this state, it will be easier to see and feel it in detail, as your attention is more focused and your pineal gland more active. Imagine packing that desire or problem into a ball of light in front of your heart and, through your pineal gland or third eye, send it to atzilluth, or the source, to be resolved. The problem has been sent to your higher self or the source to be resolved, and you have nothing to worry about. Now, while keeping your attention on the third eye and feeling the pressure there, visualize the solution to your problem or the achievement of your goal or desire. Visualize what life would be like after achieving it. Imagine the joy you feel upon attaining what you longed for. Visualize celebrating that something that had been tormenting you for a long time has finally been resolved. Make the scene more and more colorful and vivid. Touch different things in that scene and imagine feeling them. Imagine the sounds, the smells, the tastes. Immerse yourself completely in it with all your senses. See the color. Make the image bigger and more vivid. Feel the celebration and joy in your heart. Everything you have always wanted has been achieved. Now, send this ball of energy to your higher self again, as you did with the problem. As you exhale, send that ball of light from your heart through your third eye to your higher self. The problem has now been resolved. You can continue meditating for a while longer if you feel it is appropriate. But now simply focus on the third eye area and let everything flow naturally. Ideally, you can do this exercise at night, just before sleeping. In this way, your higher self or quantum double can explore different timelines or possible futures while you sleep, bringing you solutions. Sometimes, even during meditation, a spontaneous revelation or an enlightening idea can arise. There are many more techniques, but this can be a good start. If you would like me to make another video exploring the pineal gland or third eye in more depth, let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for making it this far, and see you in the next video.